Hello, I'm Matthias Wagner, a senior here at Loyola High School, and today I'll be going over my PGD initiative. So stay tuned, see more of it. So the PGD initiative relates to some of the challenges that our environment faces, specifically pollution, global warming, and deforestation, which are the PGD in the PGD initiative. So the goal of the PGD initiative is to spread awareness and create change in our community that can foster this growth in understanding about the three issues, that being pollution, global warming, and deforestation. Before I go into more depth about it, I would like to actually touch on the things that most impacted me while I engaged in the 21-day Catholic Environmental Challenge. So, I was really impacted by the spiritual reflection portion of the 21-day Catholic Environmental Challenge. It forced me to reflect on many of the issues that were prevalent not only in my community but around the world. And I was able to touch on these issues not only in a social aspect but a spiritual way as well, which was something I'm not accustomed to. So that was very interesting. So, again, before we move on to the initiative, more in depth on the initiative, I'd again like to talk about how, looking through the lens of a high school student, what I learned about this, learned from this experience or slash this project. So, I learned many things about the environment and learned how we can not only change but reverse some of the effects of these negative environmental factors. So, I learned, firstly, number one, to be compassionate towards Native communities that have had their lands infringed on and taken from them for purposes that don't align with their values, which is something that's very interesting and just a little key thing. A key thing. One of the many things I've learned throughout this this reflection and an overall project. Now let's move more into the actual initiative and what actions can be taken by not only I, but by my community to advocate for this change. So, according to the NOAA's 2020 Annual Climate Report, the combined land and ocean temperature has increased at an average rate of 0.13 degrees Fahrenheit per decade since 1880. However, the average rate of increase since 1981 has been more than twice that rate. So this not only attests to the very prevalent climate change that is negatively affecting us. So we can not only try to bring awareness to some of these issues, including this very eye-opening stat, but we can also try to actively create change in our communities. And you may be wondering, how can we do that? We can organize volunteer cleanups in certain parts of our community, mostly centered around parks. That's what I had in mind. So, also, we can achieve this through trying to reverse our contribution to pollution / global warming, limit our consumerism, and remember to recycle. Those are three very big keys. Overall, I'd like to give a major shout out to Dr. Rodriguez for giving us this wonderful project that kind of forced us to gain this understanding that initially I wouldn't have looked to get. I would have probably just stayed at home, relaxed, and this forced me to get out of my house and kind of, look at what was going on, to study the environmental changes. So, thank you, Dr. Rodriguez.